Mary Sue, the website Mary Sue, the marysue.com, kind of a feminist news site, I guess, has this headline: Am I Racist movie? Matt Walsh answers his own question in the title. The article is written by Rachel Leishman. She writes, the Daily Wire hosts are getting even more ridiculous with their antics. Bad Matt Walsh, not to be confused with the comedian, aka Good Matt Walsh, has a movie that looks as redundant as its title. The movie is called Am I Racist? It's Matt Walsh, so ... yes. Side note, how is the title Am I Racist redundant? Like, I don't want to get into semantics here, Rachel, but do you know what the word redundant means? Am I racist is a question. It's 3 words long. There's not a lot of redundancy here. I'm not sure you understand what these words mean, but we won't belabor that point. She continues, sadly, if you watch the trailer for this movie, you'll be disappointed to learn that it isn't someone making fun of Matt Walsh. No, instead, it's the actual bad Matt Walsh thinking he's unpacking what being racist means by mocking the liberal ideology that we should unlearn racism. Can we get the good Matt Walsh making a movie making fun of the bad one, please? I second that, by the way. I think that would be amazing. If the other Matt Walsh wanted to make a movie attacking me, phenomenal idea. I'll be in that movie. I'll accept the role in that film. I'll do it unpaid, even. I'll play the villain. I'll play myself as the villain in the Matt Walsh versus Matt Walsh film. I think it's a great idea. I think we should do that. She continues, the point he's seemingly trying to make is that the people who are labeled racist do not think about race as often as the people applying the label might think. Actually, that is kind of the point. You got it, Rachel. That's the point. You got it. I'm surprised. I'm surprised you got it. But she has the point, and then she proceeds to lose it. She says, he goes about proving this point by asking people about being racist, which kind of negates the entire conceit of this movie. What? The title is Am I Racist? So the title is Am I Racist? And so I'm asking people about racism. How does that negate the conceit of the movie? That is the conceit. What are you talking about? That's like if you watch the movie Gladiator and you see gladiators fighting and you say, there's gladiators fighting in the movie Gladiator. That negates the conceit of the movie. That is, what do you mean? It's the opposite of that. It is the conceit. Maybe you don't know what conceit means or negates. So Rachel, you're throwing a lot of words around that you don't seem to know what they mean, but I guess you're using the thesaurus while you're writing this, but you might want to use a dictionary too. She says, of course racists don't think they're being racist. The point most people who are actively trying to promote anti-racist texts/ideals are making is that these people are ignorant of their own racism and they don't care to change it. Walsh is basically proving that through this absurd documentary, but he's too lost in his own racism to recognize that. The log line for the movie is as follows. Daily Wire host and filmmaker Matt Walsh transforms himself into a certified diversity, equity, and inclusion expert only to uncover a world where profit, not principle, drives the agenda. So I guess that what Walsh is attempting to do is show how inclusive spaces don't love when a white man rolls in and demands they answer his asinine questions. I don't understand what the point of this movie is outside of Walsh and his little cronies at the Daily Wire laughing that people who are actively trying to be better people. The writing here is so bad, I can barely read it. This is really bad writing. He's going into anti-racist spaces and mocking them. So yes, he is racist. The whole movie is telling. Not only does this comedy not even have a funny trailer, but it's also long for a fake documentary at 1 hour and 41 minutes. Dude, this is not a movie. This is torture. Okay. By the way, hour 41 minutes is pretty short, especially by 90 minutes is like kind of where you want to land. Hour 41 is where we ended up. Pretty, these days especially, when you've got Marvel movies that are like 6.5 hours long, pretty short. What I love about this is that it reads like a review of the film, a very poorly written review, very poorly written, but except the author hasn't watched the film. because it's not out yet. And we did not send the Mary Sue a screener for the film. We will, and I'm happy to. In fact, we should let's do that. I'll send them a screener. So they can see it and complain about it even more. All I can say, Rachel, is that if you're offended by the trailer and just the concept or the conceit of the film, how little you understand it, just wait until you see the movie. It gets so much worse. I promise you that. It's so much worse than you think. That's what I can tell you. I do want to address one thing she says, though. She says, the point most people who are actively trying to promote anti-racist texts/ideals are making is that these people are ignorant of their own racism and they don't care to change it. Again, a very poorly constructed sentence, difficult to understand. But from what I can interpret of it, it does go right back to what we talked about a minute ago, that these people think they can read your mind. Right? Well, guess what, Rachel? And I'm going to really scandalize you here. I'm going to shock your sensibilities. But here's the truth. If somebody doesn't think they're racist, then they aren't racist. It really is as simple as that. If you don't think you're racist, you're not. So if you're wondering if you're racist, well, I don't know. Do you think you are? Oh, you don't? Oh, well, then you're not. That's it. Now, sure, a person could say they aren't racist and be racist. People can lie about things, obviously. But if you truly, genuinely, in your heart and mind, don't think you're racist, then you're not. Because racism is a state of mind. It's a thing that you think. Right? That's what it is. Racism is a thought process. And if you don't have that thought process, then you're not racist by definition. So this idea that, they're ignorant of their own racism. They can't be. If they're ignorant of it, then it's not there. Okay? It's like saying, this person thinks that they don't like vanilla ice cream, but only because they're ignorant of the fact that they do like vanilla ice cream. Like, it doesn't matter. What do you mean? The only person who can speak to what kind of ice cream they like is this person, and they've already told you. And like, if you think you don't like it, if you've tried it and you think you don't like it, well, then you don't like it. Like, that's it. That's the end. That's the definition of not liking it. We can't really dissect it any more than that. And that's the way it goes with any kind of mental process or preference that you might have or whatever. And so if you think you aren't racist, then you're not. And it is that simple, Rachel. But we'll get you a screener out so you can see the whole movie and be quite a bit more triggered by it than you already are. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like access to my full show with no ads, you should go to dailywire.com and use promo code Walsh to get 2 months free on all annual plans. See you there.